Hello you guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Either way, I'm so happy that you guys are joining me. Today I wanted to take some time to just come down from cloud 9. It wasn't actually cloud 9. It was just being really high up in the air and then just like being dropped to the ground during term 1. But I just wanted to take some time today to kind of reflect on some of the things that really made a difference in my comfort and the functionality of learning from home. And learning from home for most of us is pretty new, and we may not necessarily be equipped to learn from home or learn comfortably. And not to say that sitting in plastic chairs in lecture halls is very comfortable either, but there are some things that you can do at home to make your experience just a little more functional and comfortable. With that being said, I just wanted to take some time to talk to you guys about some of the items that I have found to make such a big difference in my learning at home. And I don't want to say that these are essentials, because we all value different things, and what may be essential to one person may be completely unnecessary to another. The very first thing that I want to start with is very, very obvious, but have a designated study space and a comfortable designated study space, preferably one with a relatively spacious desk and also a comfortable chair. Making sure that you're in an environment that actually physically supports you is important, but also one that allows you to stay kind of focused is also really important. Having a study space that is removed from distractions and is your own, I think, is very, very valuable. So that's kind of just like a given. What's essential? Having a space to actually study. The next thing on the list is something that smells good. This sounds so silly, but I actually noticed that I was able to study better and for longer when I was in a space that had a very calming smell. I don't think there's any scientific proof to suggest that having something that smells good in your vicinity while you're studying helps you study, but I just found it helped to create a very relaxed environment and one that allowed me to focus a little bit better. Whether that looks like a candle or a diffuser or incense or some sort of Febreze wall plug-in, I don't know, but that was just something that I found to be very, very helpful. Item number 2, we're talking about a good old planner. Now, I was the type of person in high school that literally never used a planner. I just put everything in my brain, and somehow I managed to remember it all. When I got to university, that all changed, and my planner became my absolute best friend. And I don't use it as much for dates and deadlines as I do for making a to-do list. One of my absolute musts when it comes to having a planner is making sure that your planner not only has a month at a glance, also making sure that it has lines rather than little boxes for each of the days was really important to me, because I wanted to be able to make sure that I could write down my lovely to-do list and see all of the things that I had to do in a day. No matter how many courses you're taking, it's so valuable having something like this, because not only do you get to see what you're accomplishing in a day, but you can also kind of keep track of all the things that you got to do. So to me, that's just a win-win. Anyways, very happy with this purchase. The next item on my list might seem a little silly considering that I don't own a whiteboard. But that being said, whiteboard markers. The primary reason why I got whiteboard markers is because I use them to study. I guess I'll show you. I'm gonna have to block the diagram because it's probably not YouTube appropriate, as it is the anatomical structure of a human with no clothing, because the anatomical structure does not have clothing. One of the ways that I found to be most effective for me to study, especially for my anatomy and physiology course, was to actually use diagrams. I'm covering for a strategic part here. So what I would actually do when it came to studying for this course is I printed out the diagram that I needed, and I put it in what is, I guess, a paper slip of some kind. I'm not sure, but they're kind of like clear plasticky things. I found it to be a really great way to stop wasting paper. But I would just print out one and then I could re-annotate it as many times as I wanted because it was all erasable. I actually use them to write on my windows, and I'm very fortunate to live in a household where my parents are okay with me writing on my windows. It's literally the exact same as writing on a whiteboard, but I write on my window, and my window is literally right in front of my desk. So it's kind of like this constant reminder of all the things that I have to do. So that's usually where I write my due dates, and that is why I have my whiteboard markers. The very next thing that I'm going to tell you guys is kind of an essential. I have blue light glasses, which don't look particularly good on me. However, no one sees me anymore, so it's okay. These bad boys have spared me so many headaches and honestly just help me focus. And I mean, in my case, these aren't like the most attractive thing on. They also kind of like slip down like this. So half the time I look like one of those librarians who's always questioning you. But anyways, I've found them to be super, super helpful because they filter out that light. And if anything, they help me look at my screen longer. And I don't really want to have to look at my screen longer, but they do really help if you know you have a long day ahead of you looking at your screen. Very, very helpful. Strongly recommend those. So the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about on my list are headphones. And whether they are noise canceling or not, it doesn't totally matter if you're in a quiet space. I will say noise canceling headphones do come in handy if you are working in a more noisy environment. I typically use my AirPods when I'm studying just because there are no wires, which is beautiful. They're comfortable to wear and they do a pretty good job. And I have the original ones and I love them. I use them so much, but they're not noise canceling. So I do often get like a little bit of background noise, which I will be honest is pretty distracting when I'm trying to focus. Having wireless headphones, one, is great, but also having noise canceling headphones I think would be really, really helpful. Noise canceling headphones would have been the cherry on top of the cake for online lectures, but I don't have any, and honestly, I don't feel the need to go and spend the money on noise canceling headphones because the ones that I have work pretty good, and I also just love my AirPods. So, okay, we're down to the last 3 items. This is taking a while, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get through this quickly because I know y'all have the attention span of a goldfish, but here we are. So the very next thing that I want to share with you guys is something called I don't actually know how to properly say the name, but wait, it's called an ergonomic stand, I think. One of these bad boys. This thing has made the world of a difference when it comes to my comfort when I'm studying or attending lecture. It's so weird to say attending lecture. I literally just open my computer. Because it's adjustable, you can have it at almost any height. And I've actually found that it works totally great if I'm standing. I can have my computer at a comfortable height. If I'm sitting, I can have it at a comfortable height. My neck isn't craned down, my neck isn't craned up. I can have it just sitting at this perfect level. That means I'm not straining my back, I'm not straining my neck. Out of everything I've talked about today, this is probably the one thing that you just really should invest in. They're not super expensive. There are tons out there. So ergonomic stand, get one. Totally worth it. The second last thing that I want to share with you guys is a device. Now, I recognize that not everybody has the financial means to go out and buy a tablet or buy a computer or any sort of device. With that in mind, I'm not sitting here telling you guys that you have to go and buy a tablet at all. The message I want you to take from this is that it is so important to have something to take notes on. Classes may be online and lectures may be recorded and textbooks might be available to you online as well. However, that does not mean that you shouldn't be taking notes. So with that being said, having some sort of thing that you can either take notes on, whether it be an iPad or an actual like notebook with pen and paper, either is fine. I will say though, if you do venture down the road of getting a tablet, getting a stylus, whether that be the Apple Pencil for an iPad or just any stylus for any other tablet, having it is so freaking valuable. And I know it's an added expense, but it's so worth it. The very last thing that I think would be somewhat essential, more falls into like the comfort category in all of this, but having like an office chair or a padded chair or a cushion chair that has good back support is also so important. It makes the world of a difference, and I find, again, when I'm comfortable, I'm able to focus better and study longer. So a comfy chair, even if it's just a chair with some cushions on it, what? Even if it's just a chair with some cushions on it, as long as it's comfortable, it will do the trick. Okay, so I just remembered the very last thing that I wanted to mention to you guys, a power bar. If you only have 1 or 2 outlets by your desk, a power bar is absolutely essential because it means that you can have everything plugged in and charging and actually working properly all at the same time. That, my friends, is the very last thing that I want to leave you with. A power bar. That pretty much does it for today's video in terms of all of the things that I would call essential to your online learning. Without making you feel as if you absolutely have to have these things, they are really, really helpful and have made my online learning experience a lot better, a lot more comfortable, and a lot more functional. I just wanted to take some time to share with you guys some of the things I found to make a bit of a difference in my overall experience this term. So having these things just made life a little bit easier and a little more comfortable, and that was something that I really, really valued. So I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you guys in case you wanted to get some of these things things for yourself. Anyways, that's pretty much it for me today. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video and that you found it helpful. Feel free to let me know by giving me a good old thumbs up, or feel free to leave a comment down below. As always, my email will be in the description box below. If you do have any questions about literally anything, I'm always here to talk. Anyways, that is all from me today, you guys. So thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.